Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show that you know talks about Sonic the Hedgehog every 7 days or so. And we do it with friends. Hello again. My name is Grant, here to guide the Sonic Weekly ship. Usually he's here with us, but not this week. Bo is out. He'll be back next week, dear listeners. We'll still check in with Rings of Saturn. We'll check out that blog later in the episode. But joining me along with me is the star of the show, out of the shadows into the spotlight, David the Lurker. Hi, David.
Whoa, hi, Grant. Yeah, that's right. I am here. We are Bolith, and we're just living a life, I believe, of a few possibilities, perhaps some endless possibilities. I haven't exactly quantified it yet. It may just be 7 or so, but
Bo is out there soaring past the rings of Saturn. He's going to Pluto. He's going to Uranus and mine. He's going to Neptune. He's going to all the planets in the galaxy. It's Super Bo Galaxy. Super Bo Galaxy.
All right.
Yeah.
He's getting ready. He's excited because if this was a Mario podcast, which occasionally it is, but it's not right. I mean, it hasn't been in a while.
Hasn't been in a while, but it could always be. You never know.
Right. If it were, the top story would have been the Super Mario Galaxy movie trailer. I don't think we
didn't touch on it at all.
No.
Maybe we'll cover it in the news segment, but I don't think that's our top story.
No, because this is, after all, a Sonic the Hedgehog podcast, which is why we are diving deep into the place that Sonic the Hedgehog hates, water.
Oh.
Right, because, you've been wanting it, you've been waiting for it, you saw the leaks, or maybe you were like, why is this happening? It's here now. Spongebob Squarepants. Does he have a middle name? I don't know. Spongebob Squarepants and Bikini Bottom have landed. And Patrick. SpongeBob, Patrick, Bikini Bottom, all of it has landed in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. You can drive in a hamburger.
You can, yeah.
Did you eat it?
Do I drive hamburgers? Did I eat it?
Yeah.
I've eaten a hamburger recently. In-N-Out here in California is a lovely chain that I like to frequent when I get the opportunity, and I had some about a week ago. And I've also played, it came out around 5 o'clock our time on the West Coast, the new DLC as Patrick on a hoverboard, on a, what are they actually called? They're not called hoverboards. They're called Extreme Gear. And I also played SpongeBob in a car, and I raced through Bikini Bottom, and I have a few thoughts.
Whoa, okay. Well, let's hear those thoughts, because I have not engaged with SpongeBob.
Well, here's a fun little piece of information. What year, maybe you know this, so maybe this isn't a fun guess. What year would you guess SpongeBob premiered in the US?
I'm pretty sure he premiered in 1999.
That's exactly right. Right after the Kids' Choice Awards in May. So SpongeBob is older than the Dreamcast in North America.
Oh God. I've never thought about it in that sense. Like, I know SpongeBob's been around forever, but
I know. Doesn't it feel like more of like an early 2000s thing? Like, I would have thought it would be like 2002, 2003, because I remember liking it, but also feeling like a little too old for it and just like a little too old for Nicktoons. And then kind of, watching it in high school a little bit, like going over to my girlfriend's house and we would just have TV on, and then it would be like, what to watch? Everybody Loves Raymond. Okay, maybe a little SpongeBob. And I remember enjoying episodes like the Driver's Test one and some of those other strong early episodes. That one is the only one that comes to mind.
Bubble Buddy.
But so it's definitely weird seeing him alongside the Sonic cast, which now includes Minecraft characters and, of course, other Sega characters, which is, a little less surprising. But it is a little strange. They feel as out of place as ever. But the track, number one, the track is really nice. It is well done. It looks like Bikini Bottom. It's got a couple of fun shortcuts. It's always fun to find the red rings in these tracks. I found that I was enjoying it about as much as the Minecraft DLC track, which is to say also well done and also fun to play. The music in Bikini Bottom felt a little off. It didn't feel like the music in the show SpongeBob, and it just feels like kind of its own thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if I had to pick like my least favorite thing of the new DLC pack, it's probably the music for Bikini Bottom. But SpongeBob and Patrick, they have good stats, they're racers, they're cartoon characters. You feel the absence of the voices, I do think. Because I only played offline, so I played like the Grand Prix. My rival when I was playing as Patrick was, oh my gosh, what's her name? The Babylon.
Wave the Swallow.
Thank you, Wave the Swallow. I almost had that backwards. I was like, swallow the wave bird? That's not right. That's something you should not do. Do not swallow the wave bird. The wave bird is a GameCube controller. If you swallow it, you'll die.
But you'll be able to play your GameCube anywhere in the house.
Yeah, you could just like pat your tummy and like play Smash Brothers Melee and Sonic Riders, I guess, from anywhere in your house. You feel the absence of the voices. That's kind of a bummer. There's just sort of no getting around it. I wonder if it'll be more or less felt as more of these types of characters come in, like when the Turtles come in and Mega Man and Avatar and the other characters who we know will not have voice, and also the Sega characters. We know that Tangle and Whisper and Knights and II probably do not have voices. So we'll see how that feels. But it's got me thinking a little bit also, and maybe we can get into this later, but like just the extended universe of Sonic crossover characters is so vast now.
Yeah.
There's just this whole there's many worlds of characters who are linked to Sonic in some way, and it just keeps growing. But yeah, so pretty exciting. If you're still playing CrossWorlds, I'm still playing CrossWorlds. I'm waiting for that Switch 2 release in December, especially, but this was a nice reason to revisit it. And speaking of CrossWorlds, I think this segues into our second top story, which is the Game Awards.
Whoa.
Announced their nominations, and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, if you can believe it, was nominated in 2 categories.
That is correct. It's a bit surprising. They were nominated for both Best Family Game and Best Sports/Racing Game. Hold on. I didn't look to see who else is nominated in these. Let's take a look.
Well, I don't remember while you look it up, I don't remember the full list, but I do know that Mario Kart World is in both categories. So that head-to-head matchup continues.
Right. In Best Family Game, so Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is up against, you're right, Mario Kart World, Split Faction, Lego Voyagers, Lego Party, 2 Lego games.
Is it Split Fiction?
Oh, yeah, you're right. I said Faction, didn't I? Whoops. Yes, it's Split Fiction. Why did I say it doesn't matter. It's Split Fiction, Mario Kart World, Lego Voyagers, Lego Party, and what will probably win, Donkey Kong Bonanza, right?
Ooh, banana. Yeah, probably. I feel like if it has any shot at all, it's going to be in that racing category. But that's a tougher category too. If you look at who's in there, obviously Mario Kart World as well. But who else?
Right. Well, you have just going backwards to forwards, right? There's also a game called Rematch. Looks like it's about soccer or football for all our non-American listeners.
Yep.
Then we got F1 25. Yeah. And then EA Sports FC 26.
And Sonic also was nominated for Sonic Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
In Best Mobile Game, which makes 3 nominations for the Blue Blur. And notably absent is Sonic Movie 3 from the Best Adaptation category. It was not nominated last year because it didn't come out yet. But this year it would have been eligible, but I think they just forgot. Either they forgot to submit or the Game Awards forgot to recognize it. But either way.
Yeah.
Knuckles received a nomination last year. Sonic 2 received a nomination the year before. But no Sonic 3.
Yeah. There's been a Sonic adaptation nominated every time. Before this, only Sonic Mania and Superstars had been nominated for the Game Awards. It was a big old snub for Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Wow.
And I guess even Frontiers, that was a big old snub. I know there was like, these are just the regular nominations, not the People's Choice or whatever.
Right, because Generations did get a People's Choice.
Yes.
As I recall, a Player's Choice or whatever.
A Player's Choice, people, yes. But like the standard categories, it's just, they don't care about Sonic, it seems like. I'm looking at the best adaptation. I saw a lot of people saying, "Oh, Minecraft was nominated instead of Sonic," and we do have a Minecraft movie. We've also got the Devil May Cry animated series, Splinter Cell, Death Watch, which sure, The Last of Us season 2, which makes sense, and Until Dawn, which did you know there was a Splinter Cell show at all?
Not really. I think it was. I think I did see something at some point about it being on Netflix, if I'm right in my guess. But yeah, I think there was room. There was room for Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, how many people really were into the Devil May Cry show? Just because you like the game doesn't mean you need to like the show. Is the show
Right.
good? I honestly don't know. I don't know if any of these are good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I heard much buzz, and we do have some Devil May Cry fans in our lovely Discord server, and I don't recall hearing much buzz there. Of course, I could be
Right.
wrong and might be remembering incorrectly, but either way, Sonic Movie 3 was big. It's
Mhm.
one of the top rated, one of the top grossing video game movies, period. So it was a pretty notable release. Not to mention, the Video Game Awards loves to feature Keanu. Not to mention,
Yeah.
the Game Awards featured the trailer. So it just seems like a strange omission because surely if Knuckles could earn the as Sonic 2, like Sonic 3 is just better than those. It
Yeah.
just is. It's
Well,
great.
it's definitely better than the Knuckles show. Uh yeah, like that feels very strange. It's like oh, I'm trying to think of any example, when the Oscars snub a movie that everyone loved and everyone said was great, and it
Yeah, it's like The Dark Knight.
I guess The Dark Knight is you're right. Everyone loved The Dark Knight.
That's like the quintessential example because after that they expanded the category to 10 nominees, and maybe that will happen for the Game Awards. Is that next year they'll have to include every adaptation and not
Mhm.
snub any.
Right. They should actually just put Sonic in every category.
Yeah, there should just also be a category that's like best character, and Sonic should win every year.
Yeah. Like, oh, content creator of the year? It's Sonic. He's a VTuber now.
Yeah, he's on Tails Tube all the time.
Right. I'm looking at the nominees. I only sort of know who maybe one of these people are. Uh well, are you familiar with K-Drell?
I not recently. No,
No.
no.
Kai Senate?
Yes, that name I know.
Yes. Moist Critical, Sakura Miko, looks like a VTuber,
Okay,
and the Burnt Peanut.
that's just when I make lunch. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
But I'd rather Sonic be I don't know who the Burnt Peanut is. It's not Sonic.
Burnt Peanut has been inside us all along. Uh, some other quick hit news is you mentioned at the top of the show that the possibilities are endless.
Oh,
Maybe
yes,
that
they
song
are.
Endless Possibilities on your mind because Bowling for Soup released a new version of Endless Possibility, the song from Sonic Unleashed 17 years ago. And now there's a new version. It's on streaming platforms and on YouTube. They did a music video for it. It was pretty cute. I thought it sounded good. I don't know. I don't know what else to really say about it other than it sounded good and the video was cool.
Yeah, it's the song. It's got Wheatus of Teenage Dirtbag fame and Punk Rock Factory, who I guess is a group that does covers of video game and anime music and etc. Um,
I'm just a teenage dirtbag. That one? That song?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So it is. There was a Rolling Stone article released where they interviewed Jared Reddick, and he was just like, yeah, this song has. He mentioned that he hadn't really played the Sonic games before he was hired on to record the song, but he knew what Sonic was. He's happy to share it now, I guess, with his kids. And it sounded like it was his idea.
Hmm.
He's the one that contacted Punk Rock Factory and said, "Let's go ahead and record this song," just because it's not the original version is not on streaming platforms.
Right.
So
Yeah, I guess maybe they thought like, oh, this is some easy money we're missing out on because people are still listening to this song. I'm still listening. I regularly include the version with Nathan Sharp from the 30th Anniversary Symphony, the live version, on my Sonic mixes because it's a great song. So it's kind of nice to have this additional option.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. I mean, because then you get to hear the original vocals and, well,
Yeah.
the guy singing it. It is still 17
Yeah.
years removed, but I mean,
You can't tell. He did a
yeah, he doesn't
bang up
sound.
job.
Yeah. Yes, he said, why does Sonic appeal to him? He's a little bit snarky and a little bit funny and a little bit self-deprecating, but still smart and loving, which I think is very bowling for soup.
Mm. Do you think Sonic is self-deprecating?
Um, you know,
I don't think he is.
no, not normally. I think the social media,
Oh, okay. Yeah, the social media
the
has
social media,
occasionally, from time to time, poked fun at the franchise's missteps. I think that's fair to say.
right? So I guess it's more the brand has been self-deprecating than Sonic himself.
Even then, I would say it's more like winkingly self-aware than outright self-deprecating. Like they don't really throw even something like Sonic 06 or Sonic Genesis for the Game Boy Advance outright under the bus. They'll just sort of acknowledge that they were controversial.
Hmm.
Basically, I'm saying Sonic is too confident as a character,
Yeah,
too self-assured to be self-deprecating. The self-deprecation comes from Tails. Self-loathing is Eggman, and I think self-assured is Sonic.
yeah. No, I mean, he's cool. He's cool like a cucumber, but he's blue like a blue bumper.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right.
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to it, listen to it. It's not hard to find. And yeah, the music video, it does have Mr. Bowling for Soup uh, just opening up Sonic toys and kind of playing with them. I guess he went to Target right before filming that.
It kind of looks like it. Speaking of Sonic toys,
Whoa. Oh, yeah. So something we didn't mention last week, but I feel like we definitely should. Toma, the original creator of Fang the Sniper, announced that he's releasing a series of blind bag figurines sanctioned by, like, it is fully licensed of the classic Sonic characters. You got your Sonic, your Tails, your Knuckles, Eggman, Mighty and Ray, Trip. Uh, there's Metal Sonic, and of course, it's Fang the Sniper.
and they're interesting looking. Knuckles, in particular, is a little different. Most of them kind of look just like how you would expect, but some of them have a little flavor.
Yeah, I like the way they look. Yeah, it's nice to see even a slightly different interpretation, even if it still is having pretty close to what we normally see, but I like it. And it's not often that you get someone coming back in any capacity to the Sonic franchise. I know we had Oshima came
Mm-hmm.
back for Superstars,
Yep.
but really, once a creator leaves Sonic, they never come back. So it's nice to see this. We don't have any word on when these are coming out, how much they're meant to be. I know they were at some. He was at some convention and they were there in person. They were
Mm.
physical. Saw that. So that was neat.
Well, speaking of physical media that we don't know when is coming out, we
Whew.
finally got some dates for the limited run edition,
Oh,
the
right.
limited run games version. There's a production update
Hmm.
for Sonic X Shadow Generations, which came out last year, about this time last year, in fact, a little more than a year ago. Uh, but the collector's edition is finally going to begin shipping this December, and not all at once. Wave one starts in December, and then I suppose more after that. But if you really wanted those physical extra goodies with the game, and you've been waiting patiently, you have to wait a little longer. But they are coming.
Right. It's supposedly real. They posted some pictures. There's the
Mm-hmm.
statue of Sonic and Shadow standing on the Dreamcast. Yeah, there's the Chow.
At some point, the wait is going to be longer than the whole Dreamcast's lifespan.
Right. When was this? I don't even remember when these went up for pre-order anymore.
It had to have been like earlier in 2024, right? Like like obviously it was before the game, but like it must have been spring or summer, I would guess.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And hopefully it's worth it for the people who ordered it, but I don't get it. Like, if you ordered that and you're like, "Well, I haven't played the game yet." The
Yeah.
game is like a year old now, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. I mean, I get it because the like they were tempting because they look good. The statue looks cool, and like the merch, they're all like, oh, this would be fun to have on a shelf.
Uh-huh.
But it's the weight and the just everything else around it that is kind of unappealing. But hey, speaking of vaporware,
Whoa.
fortunately, Shadow the Hedgehog not only was snubbed from Sonic Movie 3 recognition at the Game Awards, but IDW has canceled the Shadow one shot by, I think his name is Keel Feely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on Sega Bits with Barry before, and he wrote the novelizations of the first two movies. I don't think he wrote the novelization for movie 3, but he did,
Oh, I
and
thought
he
he
also
did.
did. Oh, maybe he did, but he also did some IDW work for the Sonic movie prequel comic, as I recall.
Yes, he did the prequel comic, did all 3 adaptations, and he also wrote the Sonic and the Tales of Terror
Oh yeah,
children's book. That's where he
right.
started.
Yeah, and so there was going to be a Shadow one shot for IDW that he was writing called, I
Mhm.
think, Chasing Shadows. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for whatever reason, that has been shelved, which is a bummer. Because I think mainly it's a bummer because Shadow in the IDW comics really needs a spin-off. Like he's kind of very adjacent to the narrative in general for the most part. And yet he's a character with obviously a huge following and a lot of potential, but they either seem to just want to keep him on the shelf or they just don't want to spoil the broth with a Shadow story that they don't feel like is absolutely necessary, or maybe it was just a production logistics thing, or anybody's guess as to why it was canceled. But
Yeah.
a shame from the fan perspective because we could use more Shadow in the IDW world.
That's true. I know the characterization of Shadow has sort of been a contentious debate for fans, dating back to the Metal Virus saga and being like, "Oh, Shadow wouldn't do that."
I think Shadow is just such a tricky character to write given the limitations that Sonic Team seems to put on the character. I wonder if the
Yeah.
movies, there was a rumor, which I don't necessarily put much stock into, but it's a rumor that anybody could have guessed that Paramount may be developing a Shadow spin-off movie. Maybe. I mean, flip a coin. Like it who knows? But if they were to do such a thing, they would need to find another motivation for Shadow, which he often lacks in the games and especially in the comics. He's just sort of like, people are like, oh, he's Vegeta. He's just this sort of like brooding rival character,
Yeah.
and he's only there to like, be on the cover and then disappear.
Right.
But when he's not searching for the answers of his origins, it's Sonic 06 was like, well, maybe he works for Gun. Like there's
Yeah.
not, it's like, what do you do with him next? Why would he work with the organization that murdered his best friend? Don't know. In Sonic 06, I think it was a means to an end.
Yeah. I mean, also, I guess you could argue, well, yeah. Oh, because we did celebrate the 20th anniversary of Shadow the Hedgehog, the game that happened
Oh,
a couple days ago. As of this
yeah.
recording.
This is the time of year for a lot of Sonic game anniversaries. The end of November. Sonic 2,
Mm-hmm.
Sonic Spinball.
Yes.
Lots of games have come out in November for Sonic.
Yeah, at least 3.
Okay, for North America in November,
Mm-hmm.
you want the full list is impossible, but I'll give you some highlights.
Yeah, it's too many.
Sonic Forces
Uh-huh.
was a November release. Sonic Frontiers was a November release. Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, a November release. Sonic Generations, a November release. Sonic Colors, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic
Wow.
06,
Oh,
Shadow the Hedgehog,
yeah.
and Sonic 3D Blast, and Sonic Blast, and Tails Adventure, and Sonic Triple Trouble, and Sonic Chaos, and Sonic
Uh-huh.
CD,
Uh-huh.
and Sonic 2 8-bit, and
Uh-huh.
also Sonic Rush. And hey,
Oh.
Sonic Rush, there's another piece of news there. The Sonic social media account shared some early design mock-ups, some sketches of Blaze the Cat before they finalized her form. That was pretty neat.
That was
Neato.
Yeah, that is true. I didn't take a super close look to see if any of these are new. We have seen some of them before. We've seen a couple of them, but you know,
Yeah, I don't
I
know if
think
they're new.
some of it might be new.
Okay.
Some of it is definitely new actually. It's neat. I like seeing concept art. I feel like we don't see enough concept art, especially from certain periods. It's definitely there. Some Blaze concept art was only shown at Joypolis during like maybe Sonic's 20th anniversary behind glass. It wasn't scanned, it wasn't put up online. It just existed and floated out there, and you're like, oh, okay, can we get a better look at that? No. So it's just nice to see. It's what I wish the Sonic social media did more of this sort of thing, going
Sure.
into the archives, showing concept art, work in progress, just like
Yeah.
that. This franchise is over 30 years old at this point. There's history there. Let's
Yeah.
dive into it. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would be fun.
yeah. But yeah, it's neat to see. Yeah, so 20th anniversaries of Shadow and Rush. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
2005. That was a 1-2 punch, because if you didn't like Shadow, you had Sonic Rush. And if you didn't like Sonic Rush, you had Shadow. And if you didn't like either of them,
And Sonic 06 was the next year, and
yeah,
that came out in the same window as Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis for the Game Boy Advance, which that's a real 1-2 punch of
right.
like, hey, you like classic Sonic? What if we kicked you in the nuts? Hey, you like modern Sonic? What if we punched you in the face?
Right. We also had Rivals and
Yep. Rivals and Rivals 2. Rivals was 06, Rivals 2 was 07, also in November.
right. Wait,
Riders
when did Riders come out?
Riders came out in February of 06.
Oh, okay. So it's been around for a while. It was released on PC in November. Okay. Well, that
Ah.
doesn't matter. That doesn't count. Yes. All right. So,
Well, we've got that covered.
right.
Also,
Oh.
Sonic Dash and Sonic Forces Speed Battle, also November debuts. Also, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, also Sonic Boom, Shattered Crystal,
Mhm.
2014, 11/11.
Yeah. So
Make a wish.
it's a big list.
Yeah. Sonic Shuffle was November. Sonic R was November.
Uh-huh.
Sonic the Hedgehog's Game World for the Sega Pico. That was November 96.
This can be the rest of the show.
Yeah, we could just keep listing all the games. Sonic Drift 2, Game Gear, 95.
Yeah.
It's also November.
That's right.
So Sonic is a November guy. He's there's a lot to be thankful for with Sonic. And I'm thankful for all of it, including 06. And I will defend 06. I played it on the PlayStation 3, the worst platform to play it on. Not one of these, I played PO6 and I saw a couple cutscenes on YouTube and I made up my mind. No, I experienced it. I loved it. Well, I don't know if I loved it, but I had a good time, and that's all that matters. I enjoyed myself.
You
I
enjoyed
enjoyed myself,
yourself.
and part of the reason is because I shared the experience, and I think that's the way to do it. And that's why there's so many like Let's Plays of it, because it's a fun game to like laugh at. Where Sonic Unleashed is a game that is better, also kind of broken in some ways if you don't like the Werehog, which I don't, but not nearly as fun to laugh at because it's much more competent.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me.
It's more finished and polished anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like Unleashed. I did experience it. I played it with someone. I guess I haven't really played it alone much. It's always with someone. That's fine because it's
That's
fun.
good.
Yeah.
Was it with FTCR or?
No. The first time I played it was with my first girlfriend. I usually just tell the first half of the story, which is I played Sonic 06 in front of her and her name was Elise. And then I usually go, oh yeah, and then we broke up not that long after. But in actuality, I did play all of Sonic Unleashed in front of her after that.
Wow, that's amazing. You might be the only person to have played Sonic 06 in front of an Elise. And I was going to make some bad, awful dad joke of like, oh, your girlfriend, was her name Elise? And then you would have said yes. That's insane.
That's exactly, yeah.
Wow. Usually at this part of the show, we swing over to Bo and the Rings of Saturn. But without Bo, we will check in with Barry at Segabits. Barry, what's going on at Segabits?
Hey Sonic Weekly listeners, Barry from SegaBits here to tell you about the latest episodes of Sega Talk. On episode 174, George and I go to the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois, and we meet a Nintendo World Championship winner. And on episode 175, we look back at Sega in 1998. What were they up to in this weird transitional year? Check it out at segabits.com, or you can go to youtube.com/segabits. Now back to the show, Sonic fans.
Wow, that sounds great. Can't wait to hear more. Here we are back with Act 2 of the show, the second half of the show.
That's right.
I think we've covered the news, right? We've essentially hit every major thing.
Right. We didn't mention brand new Timberland collaboration featuring Shadow. So he didn't get nominated, but he did get some boots.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Boots on the ground for the Shadow Nation.
Right. I've opened up Rings of Saturn. If Bo were here, he could talk about Atlantis the Lost Tales, which he put under the microscope. And go to 32bits.substack.com and read Rings of Saturn yourself.
Yeah. The link is always in the description.
Yeah. Find it. Click it. Enjoy it. Then come back. Because, like you said, we are at the second half of the show. Grant, what's on your mind? What Sonic things are on your mind right now? What do you think about?
I'm glad you asked. I have recently invested in a retro tink to make my Sega Saturn look even sharper. So I've been playing Sonic R again and playing Sonic Jam again to be able to hear Sonic 3's original music soundtrack that I love so much, that I cherish, that Sonic Origins does not have. But I've also been playing Sonic Origins. I've been finishing up my character files there, and I recently replayed Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic Solo, and that's a good game with the worst title, the absolute worst name in the business, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. God, do I hate that name. Because, of course, it's two games. It's Sonic 3 and it's Sonic and Knuckles. That's why it's called Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's a lovely game, though. But I do have a few thoughts, and I'm interested in yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
It got me thinking, again, how much I dislike... that's a little even too strong of saying it. If I were to rank the special stages of the classic series...
Yes.
And I'm going to invite you to do it, too.
Okay.
This is the order I think that I would go. I would go Sonic 2's Half Pipe is number 1.
All right.
Sonic CD's UFO destroying is number 2.
Uh-huh.
Number 3, I like Sonic 1's Maze.
Yeah.
And then I think I put Blue Spheres last. Blue Spheres has a great little bop to it. The music for the special stages in Sonic 3 and Knuckles is awesome, and visually it's nice and cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels the most adjacent to Sonic gameplay of them all. And also, it's the one that I find kind of the most tedious. It may be because you have to do it 14 times in the full campaign. But it's also because it's so easy to kind of like memorize and do sort of thoughtlessly a little bit. Like once you have like your route that you go through to collect the blue spheres, like that's kind of just it. And then there's that's true of all of them, but it feels the most rote for me with Sonic 3 Knuckles. But what would you say about the special stages? How would you rank the classic ones?
Yeah, I feel like it's a coin flip for best in terms of either Sonic 2 or Sonic 1. I know Sonic 2, like the half pipe, that's the classic one. It's just when I think of what's the best half pipe, I go for 3D Blast. So like if I expand it, 3D Blast is number 1, and then I want to say Sonic 1. Because I do like the concept of the maze, the rotating maze, the different path. Like, there's a lot you could do with that concept that they didn't because they only needed to make 6 of them.
Did you like how they returned in Sonic Superstars?
To some degree, but I guess the ones in Superstars don't feel as purposeful or as well because they have different goals and they're tiny and you go from one to the next and it's sort of like it doesn't have
it's a bit different.
Yeah, I mean it feels like it should be an easy thing to do, but at the same time maybe it's not because the mobile version of Sonic 1, the version that's also in Sonic Origins, but you can only see it through cheat codes, they have a 7th special stage. And that 7th special stage in Sonic 1, I am not a fan of. I am not a fan of the maze that they created. it's too
for Sonic Origins.
Yeah, the Sonic Origins, Sonic 1 7th special stage. It's just it's not. I'm not a fan of it. Meanwhile, the extra special stage that they put in Sonic 2, so I guess you'd call it the 8th special stage. Now that one I really like. That one's cool. It's cool
Ooh, I don't think
visually.
I've
Yeah,
played that one.
it adds the in Speed Highway when there's the bit where you're like, oh, it's the 360 twirl, and you're like, whoa, the power of the Dreamcast. It has that in the special stage, the Sonic 2 special stage, and it's really cool seeing it. And you're like, wow, okay, there's room here to do more. I guess, right, but either way, so if I'm doing Sonic 1, Sonic 2, CD comes next, and then Blue Spheres, I think, is it's sort of at the bottom, and part of it.
So you go in order then, 1, 2, CD.
I guess I do.
Release order.
Release order, yeah.
Canonical order.
It's because I think what you said, you're dealing with 14 of them, and you're like, okay, that's a lot in any one playthrough, because they do take a long time, even if you have the whole thing memorized. The Sonic 2 ones seem to go a little bit faster. But also, then you open it up to, oh, here's Blue Spheres mode. Here's 100 billion versions of and then you kind of see like, well, these are just the same segments over and over again. And I know it's because they didn't create a billion unique stages.
Right.
But it does, it weighs you down. And then even new Blue Spheres in Origins, I feel like, is also, some of it is confusing. Some of it doesn't feel winnable, even if it technically is. If you try to expand on it and get it more complicated, it kind of breaks what Blue Spheres is. But then if it's too simple, it's just what you've already done. So it feels like it doesn't have the same flexibility in terms of how to pace it out, the play style.
It's like an interesting game concept that I kind of wish was just its own thing and not like its own separate Genesis game.
Right.
But I mean, I get it. Like there's, with all of the Sonic special stages, they were trying to show off the hardware, trying to show off 3D capabilities as early as they could. So I get it in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I will say that if you expand it outside of the Genesis Mega Drive era, the Saturn 3D Blast special stages are delightful. And Sonic Mania special stages, I think, are maybe the best in class. I think those are great. The Sonic 3D Blast on Genesis, just to give it a shout out for no reason, is nobody's favorite.
No, that's below Blue Spheres, definitely. Sorry. Sorry, Traveler's Tales.
Yeah. So there you go. Sonic Blue Spheres is above. It's not the bottom of the Genesis pile.
No.
If you include Sonic 3D Blast. And I guess, if you're okay, so just thinking about Genesis, then you've also got special stages in Sonic Spinball.
True. The mini little pinball.
Little pinball, yeah, which I like. I like that you can track. I like that Sonic's eyes in the reflection track the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love that he's got the single mohawk, but whatever. I do like the cameos from the Freedom Fighters and from Scratch. It's neat.
There's also then the other super secret hidden one that has Cluck from Wing Fortress.
Yes. Yeah. And one reason, by the way, for Sonic CD special stages being relatively high in my list, I think at number 2 is where I put it, is because that's the only special stage that you can kind of speed run. The other ones are pretty, like, you can only do Blue Spheres like at a certain pace.
Yeah.
And Sonic 2 special stages, those are also locked to the time. You're always going to get to that time of the ring check-in at the same time. But in terms of how fast you can defeat the UFOs, it allows for some skill there.
True.
And I think that is pretty neat.
Yeah, and I guess that is also kind of the first time you really got to play as Sonic in a 3D space, even if it's not really 3D, but like you're moving side to side. Like it is, you have to judge depth a little bit there.
Yup. And the camera rotates.
Yeah.
So you get to see Sonic's full figure for the first time because Hydro City hadn't happened yet.
True. I know that Sonic 2, it is sort of presented in a pseudo 3D half pipe, but it is still like you're moving left to right. There is no, you're technically running forward the whole time, but it doesn't feel like you're not really doing anything three-dimensionally. But because you are in the UFO stage, you're moving left, you're moving right, but you are seeing the thing. If you approach it, if you miss it, you got to turn it around. It's like real life. It's like a real life 3D thing. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
no, like I feel like you could turn that concept into something a bit bigger if you wanted to. I don't know if it could support its own full game, but if they revisited the UFOs, I guess they kind of did in Mania, in some
Yeah.
way. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think
exactly what
that's
they
why Mania is best in class. Is like
did.
it takes the best parts of CD
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
it won a bit, at least in the backgrounds, and you could maybe argue with the layout of the track loop design that you go.
Yeah. And there are blue spheres.
And right, there's blue spheres. Yeah.
They're like, "We'll keep the spheres." Yeah, Mania is just, you're gluing them all together, but in a way that makes sense and is fun. But either way, I do agree with you. Blue spheres of the core 4, they're not the best ones.
And yet, in so many other ways, it is really the best of the Sonic games, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Like it there's so much going for it, and so many people have already given it plenty of props already.
Yeah.
But so, and that's part of why I am always kind of drifting towards like, yeah, but what are the things to complain about? It's like, well, that Death Egg final bosses, they're a little weak, like they're cool. They're very it's very high in the spectacle awesomeness of like, you got the planet in the background, you're flipping gravity, and then you've got the Death Egg robot, and it's got the Master Emerald, and then Doomsday Zone, and you're chasing it. But it's much easier than Sonic 2's final boss, which was a test of patience and a test of memorization,
Right.
in a way that the game really hadn't been until then. And you could say, well, that's not very fair. It's not even really like the gameplay. And Sonic 3 and Knuckles is a little bit more like the actual gameplay leading up to it. But if I were to give Sonic 3 and Knuckles, if I were to, for one thing, just treat it as though it was one entity, I would knock it for having 14 special stages, and I would knock it for, I kind of wish for a bit more of a difficulty increase towards the end. Death Egg Zone is super fun, but it's not very difficult. And Sky Sanctuary Zone is very fun, but again, not very difficult. So really the last kind of difficult stage is Lava Reef Act 2, because that's got a fair amount of traps that the dastardly Dr. Robotnik has placed.
Yeah, Lava Reef is definitely a gauntlet. Even the boss of Lava Reef Act 2.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Of course, by then you're probably supersonic, but
but then you got to worry about running out of rings.
You do. But whereas Sonic 2, I do feel like the difficulty ramps up in the right way. Like the first half through Casino, Night Zone, I mean, it can be difficult. Like Aquatic Ruin can certainly be difficult. And Chemical Plant, a lot of people have, everybody has that thing of like struggling with the column of the purple ooze rising while you're trying to scale the moving blocks. But, Metropolis Zone often gets like put down as like it's the worst zone, but I think it's just because it's the most difficult. It's got tons of traps, but they're not, the cheap shots are not unavoidable. They're just cheap. They just sucker punch you.
Right.
But I don't hate that, because it's like it's the end game now.
True.
You've gotten past Oil Ocean.
Right. Yasuhara likes to throw in a few cheap shots, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a video game from 1992. Let's remember that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, Metropolis does really feel like the finale, you're right, although I know as a kid there were certainly moments in Wing Fortress that drove me crazy, because it is technically over one giant bottomless pit. And if you have to do some platform hopping, you can feel your heart jump into your throat, and you're like, oh God, am I going to make it? I didn't. I died. Oh no. That happened more than once as a kid. So I don't remember Metropolis Zone driving me crazy as a child. I think I was more afraid of Sonic falling from a great height than I was like getting crushed or landing in lava or whatever.
And ironically, that's the fear that you shouldn't have, because Sonic canonically has no fall damage.
That's true. He
can fall from outer space and land headfirst on the ground and be fine.
Yeah, he's like, oh man, that was oh, you're not who I'm looking for. Yeah,
and that happens not just in Sonic Adventure, but also in Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, it does. He lands on Chip. He's like, oh, did I give you amnesia? Maybe, I don't know.
It certainly should have given Sonic a concussion, but he doesn't suffer from these things. He's got a different set of physics.
Right. Death Zone in Sonic and Knuckles. I'm thinking like there's some hard parts. I wouldn't say it's like a breeze to get through.
That's true. It's not a breeze. There's the conveyor belts with the electricity traps underneath, and there's a lot of spikes, and the badniks are pretty tricky. The going upside down can be a little disorienting.
Yeah, there's some funky stuff going on in there.
It is a great final stage just in terms of the presentation too. Like it's cool. That's the major thing lacking from Sonic 2 is that Death Egg Zone is not a full zone. And one wishes that instead of Metropolis being 3 acts, one of those acts became Death Egg Zone, and that would make it feel, I think, a lot more balanced. If you had just two acts of Metropolis, Sky Chase, Wing Fortress, 1 act of Death Egg Zone, and then the bosses, and you could maybe even carry in rings to the bosses, I feel like that one little change would go such a long way towards people unanimously agreeing that Sonic 2 is the best one.
Yeah, those little that little tweak would, I think, definitely help. Yeah, I know I've played it 100 million times and gotten used to it, but sometimes I do wish there was a little bit more. And I know the Death Egg Zone, I think they said somewhere, there's an interview by someone somewhere, that the reason there's no rings in it is because the developers played it so much that they were like, this is way too easy with rings. And then didn't realize.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah, but and it didn't occur to them like, oh, somebody who just got there? No, they're gonna have trouble. You didn't.
Yeah.
And then they went, oh, oof, maybe we shouldn't have done that.
I think it was the right decision though. Like when I've been playing it in Sonic Jam on, they do give you rings, right? In
normal.
In normal mode. Thank you. Not in original mode.
Not in original mode. I guess it was continuing a tradition because Final Zone in Sonic 1 doesn't have rings. You're also ringless. And even in Sonic 3, when you get to the Death Egg Zone robots, if you die during that sequence,
right,
you don't get rings anymore.
Yeah, when you just start again with the fingers and then the blasty, you got to just have that perfectly timed. Of course, I do have it perfectly timed, so I don't lose any rings. I just spin dash through the rings, and then I jump at where and avoid the laser blast, and it's no problem for a pro Sonic gamer who's been gaming for nearly 4 decades.
Whoa!
I know. Can you believe it?
Right, you should put that on a business card.
Who would I give it to?
Well, like if you ever went to a gaming type convention, and you see someone sitting at a table and they're playing Sonic, and you're like, here we go. You walk up to them and you introduce yourself. You're like, hi, my name is Grant, and I've been an official Sonic the Hedgehog gamer for nearly 4 decades. You hand them the business card. It says it.
Yeah.
And then, maybe.
So you asked me what was on my Sonic mind.
Yes.
And I shared some thoughts. Do you have any random Sonic thoughts in your mind?
That's a good question. What have I been thinking about Sonic wise? I got Sonic the Hedgehog issue number 5 recently.
You got Sonic the Hedgehog what?
Issue number 5 from Archie.
Issue number 5.
Issue number 5. Oh. Yes, I never had it, but it was gifted to me by my lovely partner. It was meant to be
issue 5.
Issue 5.
Can you describe the cover?
Yes, you have Sonic the Hedgehog. He's running forward, and you also got Rotor and Tails, and there's fire. Rotor says it's the hottest title on the shelf, and Tails says, and it's going fast. And you have your corner box joke. Check your smoke detector. Yeah, so he got it for me. I guess it was meant to be a Christmas present, but we had gone to a comic book show, and I saw a copy of this there for $40, and I was like, oh God, why is it $40? It's like the one early issue I don't have.
Oh, okay. That
And
was
then
my
he
next
was
question
right.
is,
And then
yeah.
he was like, yeah, don't buy that. No, don't even think about buying it. And then revealed that he had already
Sneaky.
snuckily snuck a sneak. And
Sneaky.
man, and reading it, it just there's a charm to those early Archie issues that I certainly
Yeah.
do miss. I guess IDW would never even dare, but I wouldn't mind some just like joking comedy.
I'm totally with you. I would love a more strictly comedy focused Sonic series. I think the IDW series is a great adventure comic.
Mhm.
It's really cool, and it's like what we always wanted when we were reading Archie, which is like just the game characters, for God's sakes, just the game characters. And now that's what we have, more or less, with IDW, and they have some original characters too, who are now becoming game characters, like Tangle and Whisper and Sonic Racing CrossWorlds DLC coming in January and February, right?
Yeah.
February, something like that. But yeah, the jokey, comic strip nature of those early Archie issues, they kind of recaptured some of that when they did the Sonic Boom Archie series.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. But yeah, I feel like comedy is such an important part of Sonic's identity that to lose it for too long is a shame. And then, that's incidentally what people disliked about that Shadow 05 Sonic 06 era, is it seemed pretty humorless and very self serious, and there's room for both tones in the Sonic franchise.
Mhm.
And I think lately, in terms, like, we're halfway through the 2020s decade, I think they've done an exceptionally good job in recent times of balancing the two, because you've got the movies and you've had, I guess, the Sonic Mania Adventures shorts are pretty old at this point, so that's not the 2020s.
Right.
But you do have the movies, which are funny, and you do have the Knuckles series, which is a comedy, and so that gives the identity. When the Bowling for Soup guy is saying like Sonic's self-deprecating and he's snarky and stuff, like that's the perception of him. That he's a comedic character. He's got a Bugs Bunny angle to him.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. Like, he has that infused in him. If he's inspired by classic cartoon characters, Felix, Mickey, like, but he does have layers of snark. Bugs Bunny is the ultimate snark man, and Sonic's been funny for a long time. All the early comics were funny. AOSTH is designed as comedy. I know SatAM. There's definitely moments that are
Oh yeah.
funny in that show. It's not a super serious sad time.
To say nothing of those early commercials, which are comedy.
Yeah.
And also the fact that he taps his foot and acknowledges the player is a joke. That's a comedy beat that they put into Sonic the Hedgehog from the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, he is breaking the fourth wall. He's getting upset at you. He's annoyed at you. All that's there in the DNA. I mean, I wouldn't say Sonic should only be jokes and only be funny. He needs a balance of comedy and adventure. And I guess early Archie did eventually sort of find that stride. I mean, Metal Madness, or even Sonic 25. Look, there was some funny things happening in those issues of Archie where they were trying to be more adventure-y than just straight up humor strip, funny animal comic, but they did find a balance. So
I feel like right now, if I were to, I guess, lick my finger and then stick it in the wind, which I don't know why people do that, but they do it in cartoons to see which way the wind is blowing, I feel like the fandom currently is pretty anti-funny Sonic. I think in general, at least what I see on social media, the hot takes from the kids,
yeah,
the youth of today, they like that self-serious Sonic. They like what 06 was going for, and they like the drama of it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I have seen those takes. I think some of it is a reaction to like Colors and Lost World and how it was trying to be funny. But maybe it's because it just wasn't written the best way to be the funniest thing in the world. But like, a lot of people loved Sonic Boom, and at its heart, Sonic Boom is a sitcom. Like, that is funny Sonic. And I feel like there's still a lot of love for that show.
Oh yeah, that show is probably the high watermark for Sonic comedy projects. The movies are right there with it, but Sonic Boom is a sitcom, so it's the whole thing is jokes, and they are funny jokes. It feels like it's The Simpsons, but with Sonic characters, and it's lovely.
True.
But the thing about Sonic Colors and Sonic Lost World as well is like, I feel like those writers also deserve a break, because being funny in a video game seems like such an impossible task. And I was thinking about this because the Metroid Prime 4 Beyond trailer earlier this week revealed that they're going to have some comedy in that game in the form of the Miles McKenzie character, who's a nerdy, bumbling, inept sidekick for Samus during her space adventure. And the reaction to it from everybody, universally, unanimously, and I think me included, it was like, no, thank you. It's not like I don't think it's totally wrong it's like, okay, so for this game, they're taking from Aliens as opposed to Alien, and it's a bit more of an ensemble. But it just feels like right now the mood of what gamers want and what Sonic hardcore faithful want doesn't seem to involve the lighthearted stuff quite as much. And I think the way to make room for it would be exactly kind of what you're proposing, which is like maybe just a spin-off miniseries or sub-series or online-only webtoon comic or something where where the point of it is jokes.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me. Because even in the deep end of Ian Flynn's run on Archie, when it was like sometimes some wild and crazy things are happening, there would always be at the end that little coda of off-panel, which is like, here's a strip that sometimes even pokes fun at the events happening in the issue. Like, there is room for levity and humor even in the darkest moments of Sonic. And if
we do need to devote a whole episode to you reviewing all of the off-panel comics. As requested by Barry, we should do that.
I'd be into that. I mean, because there are the two eras. There's the original off-panel, which is just the adventures of the Archie comic staff and Sonic. And then the second half, which is just the kind of newspaper strip Sonic comedy strip. Strip. So I know I'm into it. Sounds like you're into it. And either way, once again, shout out. Thank you, boyfriend, for that.
Thank you
for the comic. The Sonic
comic.
Thank you for the comic. Thank you for the Sonic.
Hey, David, we did it.
Whoa.
We made it through a whole episode without Bo, without much of a plan, and we did it. And I think we came across an interesting subject, which is like, should Sonic be funny? I think we did okay.
Yeah. We talked a little 3&K, a little special stage, a little all of it. And
a little grab bag.
Right. So at the end of the day, I think what you're saying is you've already pre-ordered those Timberland boots, right? Like you're
Yes, I did.
I knew it. Flying out to Japan after the show, just so you can go buy them in person. You're going to be wearing them. You're going to be wearing them all day. One side is the Shadow shoe, and on the other side is the Sonic shoe, because you are the dichotomy. And if you are also feeling the dichotomy of Sonic, happy-go-lucky, super serious, Sonic and Shadow, life and death, all of it, whatever. Look, it's because you got to the end of another episode of Sonic Weekly. Yes, that's it. We have reached the end of our show. And if you have enjoyed what you've heard before what you've heard, not heard before, if you've enjoyed what you've heard, then and you haven't done so yet, you should subscribe to this podcast using your podcatcher of choice, be it Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or for the Android faithful, Podcast Addict. That's right. You can, give us a rating, give us a review, do the things that you can do in all of those fancy apps. But if you reject all podcatchers, and I don't blame you if you do, we're also over on YouTube. It's at Sonic-Weekly. If you do forget the dash, you go somewhere else. And the show's there as well. joined, as always, with gameplay footage from friend of the show, Jack of Old Games. His thumbs are going wild right now. Whoa, you better put them on ice. You can, like, comment, subscribe, and if so inspired by engaging with all this content, you can reach out to the show. SonicWeeklyPodcast@gmail.com. Drop us a line. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know what you want us to talk about. And it's the only way to get the link to our Discord server. Ask for it. We'll send it off, and soon enough, you'll be talking to some like-minded Sonic the Hedgehog fans about many things up to and including Sonic T. Hedgehog. Whoa. We also have a Ko-fi. We're just Sonic Weekly over there. If you're able to, throw something in the tip jar, or for $5 a month, become one of our executive producers, just like PigDan, Pabsy, Sonikku, SavingThrows, Belgarion, Altsynth, Rat, Liker63, Dr. Hate PhD, Sertoo, and Butterbeerhawk. Whoa! Why, we would greatly appreciate that. It helps to offset the costs of hosting and production for this show, but if you're not able to, that's perfectly fine as well. We're just happy that you're here. And hey, tell your buddies, they're all welcome. What are we going to do? That's right. We're going to thank Altsynth also. Or is it Jack, or would it be Bo? Look, it's probably Altsynth. We're going to thank Altsynth for editing the show. Yeah, that's what it is. And got to thank Bo for, I don't know, he's doing something. Probably going to thank him for space exploration. He's probably expanding our knowledge of space.
The known universe, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to find the edge of the universe, and then he's going to step right over it. And it's going to be fun. And he'll be reporting it on Rings of Saturn. And also, Grant, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for still engaging with Sonic. Thank you for being an official Sonic the Hedgehog gamer for nearly 40 years.
And David, thank you for being a friend, for going down that road and back again.